Go. Yeah. Direct it, make it. Go. Yeah. As I was told.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Connected. I'm your host, DJ Iz. We're here top of the morning. What's up, Chloe? How you doing?
Top of the morning to ya.
do you feel fresh and vibrant and ready to get the week going?
I feel so inspired that I just feel like one big glitter bubble. That's how I feel.
You big glitter bubble. yo. I'm mad, every time, like, I of course I'm always excited to come here every Monday, but I'm always like, man, only if we could have, like, another day in our weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, fun day, and then Monday. Would that be dope?
That'd be like your prep day. That'd be like the day where you're, like, half in the bed, half out of the bed, and kind of ease your way up, as opposed to the alarm clock taking years off of your life with a jolt.
Right. Well, man, I'm excited. We got another special guest in the house with us today. Guys, we're on show 27. Last week we did the math. I think we're at, 125 or 130 jobs now that we've introduced.
Let's find out, shall we?
We'll get the numbers in later. We'll save that. But for those of you who are just tuning in, this is a show where we're not just dealing with education. We're not just dealing with mentoring. We're dealing with the whole kit and caboodle. Information, education, opportunities.
Infotainment.
Exactly. Jobs. Two cool cats coming together to really just, enlighten your day and bring to you the best we possibly can, which is our opportunities, right? Because we're doing it like no other, Chloe. I mean, I have yet to still find a show like ours that's not just educational, not just stale and boring, but some cool-ass jobs. I mean, have you found anything?
I haven't seen it, and I am out there. I am out on the beat, as they say in the world.
Better tell them.
And on that beat. But no, it's also inspiration, right? Because yes, the world needs jobs. The world is also a little beat down right now. The world needs a big old hug. So we're also here to offer you that. Let us put our arms around you for this little moment in time.
You're so motherly. I love it. Chloe, you're so motherly.
It's my favorite.
So
I have to adjust myself in seating.
All right. Well, I'm excited to get in our Grind Opps today, and something we like to always tell folks before we dive into these details, because it's a lot of information, you might want to get your notepad, your pen, your pad. I don't even know if folks even write down anymore. So, man, if it's your iPad, if it's your notebook, if it's your whatever we call it gadget, you might want to have that. You might want to have that close to you, because we really go through details on this show, and I think that's crucial for our viewers. It's like, getting the info on the Grind Opps and the jobs is great, but to really like sponge all this information that goes with each particular job is super crucial, because we're not going to send you in there unprepared, undernourished with information. So you definitely want to make sure you jot or take everything down that you possibly can. I'm not even going to say jot no more, because folks probably don't even know what jotting in these days.
Well, fine, break out your thumbs, your texting thumbs. You save a tree. Fine, do that. Take a note.
Twitter fingers. Twitter fingers. They know that. Twitter fingers. Twitter fingers.
I would also like to real quick say before we start, this is art behind me.
Yo, I'm not mad at it, Chloe. Can you dangle it again with your fingers?
These are zippers. Shout out to the artist Jill Weinstock. This is an original. Thank you.
Well, it's hard to tell because we can't see the entire piece. So I don't know if it's like, okay.
It is.
I don't know. See,
at
first I was like, are those shoestrings hanging in the back? Now that I see the whole art piece.
You're just not there yet. You're just not there yet.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So again, we're very excited to introduce our guest for today's show. But before that, we're gonna jump up into the first Grind Opp of the day. This is in the field of recording, which is a coincidence. All right, so this is Pro Tools editor, Animation studio seeks Pro Tools editor to work with one or more executives to create the final output for a show. And this is actually in our hometown, California, in Burbank. So those for those of the locals that we got tuning in today, this is definitely something that you guys can partake in. First and foremost, our recording connection students. We always got to look out for our family. Got a lot of
and
students
film connection.
Film connection. Got a lot of folks who are actually doing things in real time right now with other mentors and really cool mentorship. So guys, you definitely want to take advantage of this. So let's dive into these details for this particular grind up. Prestigious animation. I like how they added prestigious. Grand, right? Prestigious animation studio seeking a Pro Tools editor that will be working with one or sometimes multiple executives to create the final output for a show. Editor will be importing audio and cutting out circle takes, cutting in ADR and pickup lines. Candidate must be confident and comfortable with Pro Tools as she will be stretching, pitch shifting, crossfading, and working out audio timings to picture. Yo, whoever put these details together really knows what they're talking about. I want to go ahead and credit our connected team for it, because I know that's who's handling it. So shout out to you guys. Candidate must be very organized, detail-oriented, and have the ability to work with others creatively. Candidate must have at least 1 year working with Pro Tools. One of the things I want to kind of point out in these particular details is prestigious. When they say prestigious, I'm assuming it's either let's say what are some of the big animation companies? There's DreamWorks.
There's Disney.
Pixar. Oh, definitely Pixar.
I mean, yeah, and there's everything else that's not Pixar. Shout out to it.
Right. But honestly, we just named those are the biggest in the game right now. So I think that's definitely something to take into consideration. Another thing to take in consideration is you're going to be working alongside executives. So that can either be a whole lot of pressure or it can be a breeze for you. I'm not sure where you're at, but definitely working alongside executives. I mean, those are always great opportunities for them to kind of see what you're capable of, kind of see your work ethic, how you get it down, how you get the job done. And that, you'll be surprised how many times that propels you into other positions. So that's definitely a huge factor. And just from the technical side, you'll be obviously importing audio and cutting out circle takes and a bunch of other stuff that I've mentioned. So you definitely got to know the terminology there. And I'm assuming with anybody who has 1 year experience that you definitely know by now what all that means. They definitely want you to be experienced in working with Pro Tools. One of the things we always mention on this show is that being familiar with a variety of recording platforms, whether it's Reasons, Ableton. This one is particularly asking for Pro Tools. So definitely make sure you have an array of information when it comes to those programs, because in this type of job setting you might run into cats that are using other software programs, but this one is Pro Tools. So make sure your Pro Tools chops are up. And
to also note, if you don't, this is the perfect world. This is the perfect opportunity to not just sit on your butt and be complacent about it. Get out and learn about it. There's so many videos. Not to say you can learn everything from a video, but you can at least get a grasp, and then to point you in the right direction as to where you can find out all the other information.
Absolutely. And then another thing, Chloe, one of the last details was candidate must be very organized, detail-oriented, and have the ability to work creatively with others. How, let's kind of talk about that real quick, because I think a lot of folks, as they're going and as they're learning the components of being organized and detailed and obtaining information, and then working with other folks, and then having a good attitude, walking in, embracing your teammates, being a team player. I mean, those are the different dynamics that are really required more than ever in this day and age, is really being able to work with other folks, network, and being able to listen. I mean, how many folks can just listen and be a fly on the wall? You know what I'm saying? It's a different generation out there, and when I get a chance to sit with younger folks, I'm always like, man, the best thing you can do is be a sponge, absorb everything, listen. And at the end of the day, in my day coming up, that just meant shut up. Right? Like, hey man, shut up. you know, when we want your idea and opinion, we'll ask for it. You know, that's that's the school I'm from. So, you know, not to be that harsh on this generation, but just know, like, at the end of the day, man, absorb as much as you can, and it's very hard to absorb when you got a whole lot of output going on. So, you know, just take that into consideration.
Baby.
So, I know, right? So, Chloe, before we move on to this next grind up, I want to take this opportunity to introduce our special guest. But before we do that, my man came through with his. He came through with his own sizzle reel.
His own video. Wait, you know, and also let's just say, like, when we talk about Pro Tools, this is the perfect transition because.
Exactly. That's why I said, I was like, this ain't no coincidence why we went into a Pro Tools editor, you know, job for our first grind up. So, you know, guys, we're very excited to have our guest on today's show. Without any further ado, we're going to roll to my man Sizzle Reel so we can do him his proper dues and his due justice. So go ahead, man, roll it. Roll it tape.
We're over here in Ventura, dude. You know, we're at the harbor. We're at Jam in the Van. We had a lot of really great bands play.
Jam in the Van is the world's first solar-powered mobile recording studio.
We recorded Ziggy Marley today. Well, I did.
Ethan's pretty grumpy. He doesn't like kids a whole lot.
Do I enjoy working with Ethan? You know.
The man is a ticking time bomb.
I'm here to take Ethan's job.
Anthony's killing it, man. Anthony is he's a go-getter. He's a hard worker. He doesn't quit.
A couple more weeks and his job will be mine.
After going to Recording Connection, like, basically do everything Ethan does, but better.
And I've never seen Anthony hurt a kid before.
Anthony learned to be an audio engineer at the Recording Connection. The world is their classroom. They send their students out into studios and learn from people that are actually in the business.
We invited 150 middle schoolers to come and check out the event as kind of a learning experience. Unfortunately, our sound engineer, Ethan, was smoking in front of the children.
What I heard is basically that Ethan flicked a cigarette and it smacked the little fella in the face. And
he's irresponsible where he flicks his cigarettes.
Poor kid who got a burn. He had to go to the hospital.
Flicked it. Sorry. Kid got hit in the eye. Apparently he's dead now.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, you can lay your arm on my shoulders. I'll be the crutch to hold you beside. When the earth starts to shake and grind.
Yo. Now, you know what I love, you know, cause so without any further ado, let me introduce my man before
live guest.
Before we kind of talk about our live. Go ahead, Chloe. Give him the introduction.
Without further ado, let us please introduce to our hangout Mr. Anthony Montejo. Yay! He is a Recording Connection alum. He is an apprentice with Jam in the Van, as you saw in the video. Welcome, Anthony. We're so happy to have you here.
Hey guys, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yo, man, I gotta say, man, now, you know, one of the things we constantly talk about on our show is a sizzle reel, a presentation, a resume. And what I loved about your sizzle reel, bro, is you got mad shout outs, bro. You like, these cats are like, yo, Ant, man, Ant, hey, Ant, like, yo. It looks like you're doing a great job, man, and you've been able to make an impact with the folks you've been able to work with, man. And my hat's off to you, man. You know, just to see a cat at your age doing it and taking it a step further and really doing it in a non-traditional way. I mean, the whole Jam in the Van experience, man. Tell us kind of like just what the Jam in the Van entails from a very detailed aspect as far as studio style, and kind of just speak on that.
Well, yeah, like it said in the video, the Jam in the Van is the world's first solar-powered mobile studio. So the guys travel across the country finding bands to record inside the van. And in the back of the van, there's a little studio with the board, with the recording, all the gear that we need. And so we record them, we videotape them for about like 12 hours at least. And upload the videos up to YouTube whenever they're ready.
Wow.
Wow, that's
so you're
dope. Now,
operating in tight quarters. How do you like function
Oh, we
as a
make
van?
yeah, it's tough at times, but we make it work.
you
It's a
know what,
little
Chloe?
cramped, but
You know what, Chloe? I was gonna say, man, that's great and all, but man, how do you squeeze all them folks in for the after parties at these studio sessions?
Which is the
Because
most
I
important
know it
part.
goes down. Yeah, I know it goes down. But so you said solar. So how does that work as far as, let's say you have a 12-hour day and you're recording, and then obviously do you have to charge on the downtime? How does that work as far as the actual energy to power the
Yeah.
studio?
yeah, it charges up on the downtime. Everything that we use with the recording, all the mics, the setups, the board, everything's using the solar power that's already been charged up for the day.
Wow, that's dope,
And
man. And I'm sorry, Chloe. Go ahead, there.
no. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this, because you're not just talking about like lights on, lights off. You're talking about all of the power of this equipment generated by the sun. How much, like how long does it need to be exposed to it in order to fully charge for something like that, for a session like that?
I'm not really sure about that,
It's
but
a lot of science.
yeah, it is. I'm not in that kind of field of science. That's not my field. I'm in audio.
You know what I like to compare the van? It's like the dopest Scooby-Doo van and the dopest A-Team van that came together, and now you got a studio in it. What's cool is just to see you guys actually like recording drums, guitar, bass, like the full spectrum of a band in this van is crazy to me. Like, what kind of board are you guys working with in there?
We have a PreSonus Live, a studio
Dig it.
live.
Dope.
Yeah,
Dope. And I'm assuming your guys' mic collection is pretty insane.
yeah. We have a lot for enough mics for like a 10-piece band.
Wow.
Wow.
What's your dopest mic in that van?
Man, dopest mic. I like them all, honestly.
Okay.
I like them all.
How about for
Which
vocals?
one's the prettiest?
Prettiest?
The prettiest don't sound good in this
No.
environment.
But it's pretty.
The ones that honestly like that, and that's why I wanted to ask that, because I'm sure you guys are cutting vocals as well, and that's kind of, I wanted to have an idea of what mics you guys are using, even on the vocal side, because those mics range anywhere from 1,000 to beyond, and just to understand the actual experience of the van. I mean, it's a lot going on in this van. There's a lot of money in these kind of things, a lot of finances attached to even make this kind of thing work. What as far as the sound quality, are you guys dealing with are your mains big monitors? Or you guys do near fields? I mean, kind of walk me through the actual gear and environment in this van.
Well, yeah. Outside the van, we have a front of house.
Okay.
So with TVs, so whenever the band's recording live, people outside the van can actually watch what's happening as it's going on.
Wow,
that's
dope.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, so can I bring it back around to recording connection right quick? Right quick. Where am I from? But I just want to know your experience with recording connection. Like, how did that take shape?
I actually found out about it. I was planning on going to school I was looking at other schools to go to,
Sure.
MI, AI, LA Recording, and literally the night before I was about to commit to the school I chose, I found out about recording connection. And I honestly thought it was a little too good to be true, so I signed up to get a little bit more info.
And why do you think it was too good to be true?
Because you get to work inside an actual real studio instead of a classroom, one-on-one with your mentor.
So dope.
And the tuition was pretty cheap compared to the other schools, so I signed up to get some info.
What's crazy is what you just said right now is pretty much the thing that got me and sold me. When I came on board with the recording connection, I've always been into forward thinking, doing things different, and really getting involved with institutions that are really looking out for the next creator, the next aspiring filmmaker, and all those different creatives. And when they told me this is how they get down, I was like, Oh, how are you making that happen? You mean to tell me you're putting these cats through, you know, a mentorship in an actual studio, in an actual working environment, rather than a classroom? And once I was able to wrap my mind around that experience, I was like you, man. I'm all in, right? Where do I sign? You know, so just to hear that you've been through this process, and that's kind of what got it for you, is really dope, man. Because it's, for me, it's always proof in the pudding. Like when our viewers can see a cat like you who went through this program that actually works, right? Because we know at the end of the day, we know a lot of these programs, man, they're really loaded with a bunch of bull. You know what I mean? And it doesn't really take someone like you and put you in an environment that allows you to excel in real time in the real world. So here we are talking now, right? I went through the same process with even putting this show together. You went through the same process with even becoming an actual Recording Connection student, and then finding yourself in an opportunity where you're engineering and jamming the van. And
which you got through Recording Connection.
So it's like, you know, just to be able to share that story, man, it's like, you know, this is a legitimate process, a legitimate pipeline that you've been able to access and maximize. And here you are, man. And you know, that's really dope, man, because for cats like you who obviously love music, obviously love the craft of engineering, you know, that's a story you'll be able to share with you wherever you go. And at the same time, man, you're calculating experience hours. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the true benefit is, and for a cat like you, man, is to be able to find yourself in an environment that's really not a classroom, boring and stale, but actually, man, in a studio, bro, and you're in a solar powered studio in a van.
Yeah.
That's recording real
musicianship.
You're saving the world.
You're saving the world with music and energy. You
win. Care about the environment.
We do. It's real. Well, so real quick, your mentor was, who was your mentor?
In Jam in the Van, or when I was with Recording Connection?
When you were with Recording Connection.
Oh, when I was with Recording Connection, it was Donnie Baker.
Shout out to Donnie Baker.
Right?
Shout out to Donnie Baker.
Good job, Donnie.
Good job.
Baker.
Good job.
Good job.
And in return, you got a great student.
I mean,
so I know you primarily work with Pro Tools, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you play that computer keyboard like you would actually play a piano, right? Because I know you're super fast. I know you got your shortcuts. Tell me about how you work. Tell me about how you work when you work with Pro Tools, because every engineer style is different, from the settings you have on your mouse to all the other things, man. So walk me through that real quick.
Oh man, I don't know where to start. To be an engineer.
I hear the beginning is good.
Yeah, where's the beginning at? Well, yeah, learning how to work with the Pro Tools in a studio, man. You got to be quick. You got to know your stuff. You can't be wasting the client's time trying to get everything like set up instead of using shorthands and all that. So I had to learn quick. I had to learn fast.
Yeah. And how did you do that?
Studying, being in the studio like all night, pretty much.
With my practical application.
You know, and I'm actually glad you just said that, Ant, because I like to always stress, you know, in these environments, man, the number one enemy in the room is downtime. You know, when you're having to figure something out, when you're, you know, like you said, you know, it's like these clients, man, it's time is money, and they're on the clock, man. So to be able to get in there and get the workflow going, and you know, a lot of times, I'm sure you find yourself even prior to the actual start time of the session, you're in there an hour, maybe an hour and a half prior, setting up mics, you know, getting the placement on everything, dialing things in, and that's crucial for people who are looking to do the same thing as you, just kind of understanding what that workload looks like and what that pressure looks like.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? By the way, did you get Ethan's job yet? I feel like is the question everybody wants to. Maybe that's in your 5-year plan. I don't know.
Not yet. That isn't my 5 years. In my 5 years, I'm sitting in his seat in the back of the studio, working everything on my own.
Man, I can't be mad at you, because I'm gonna tell you, man, Eye of the Tiger, kill or be destroyed, man. Eye of the Tiger. But always do it with integrity. Never undercut. Always do it with integrity, and that's that's some of the things we don't talk about on the show. But since you brought it up and I brought it up, we're gonna talk about it. Like I think it's always important to get in there and and take opportunity, man. Like when you get a chance, man, don't be nice guys finish last.
They do.
Nice guys.
It doesn't mean be a dick. It just means like know your worth. Know your worth and be confident.
And that's really what it's about, man. And to hear you say that, man, you got the right mentality, bro. Like get in there, man, handle your biz, and that's will propel you to the next opportunities. And that's really dope, man. I'm happy that we've had a chance to have you on our show, man, and to hear your story and to hear how you got it done. That's very inspiring, especially for cats that want to see themselves in these same opportunities.
Exactly.
You're like the perfect display of what that looks like, man. So
a lighthouse,
shout out to you,
man.
Thank you, man.
Be the lighthouse.
What are some of the different styles of music you really find the most joy in as far as engineering and recording?
In far engineering, it's like rock and metal and all that because it's so much bigger. Everything's just bigger instead of hip hop. It's just the beats.
Hip hop's like hip hop is like
the one artist.
Give me two outputs. Give me a stereo.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I love hip hop. Don't get me wrong. Just production wise, I like the big bands. It's so much more work to do. Right. That's how I feel. That's what I like.
Nice, man. Well, that's what's up, man. I hope you can kind of sit with us and stay throughout the show. We might have you chime in on some of these other grind ops and information you might have that you can add to what it is we're talking about. Another thing, folks, we want to tell you, man. In order to apply for these jobs, make sure you click on that link on the right side of your screen.
You can also find us on social media. Let's not forget that. So shameless social media plug at Is Connected on Facebook, on the Twitter machine, on what's that other one? Instagram, or all of the social media. If you're looking for us, you know where to find us. At Is Connected. Boom. That's easy.
So, man, you're more than welcome to sit tight with us, man. Hang out, chill. Like I said, it's a pleasure to have you, man. So, thank you very much, man, for hanging with us.
Will do. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well,
should we move to Grind Op number 2?
We're going to move on to Grind Op number 2, and this is production assistant in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, Fox TV series.
I just also want to say right quick, wait, I'm gonna interrupt because I'm just rude like that. But that yes to recording connection. This is also all of you film connection people. The next few Grind Ops, pay attention for sure.
Pay attention.
That's all. That's all I had to say. Continue.
I'm not mad at that. Here we go. Fox TV series 24 Legacy is currently accepting resumes for production assistants. Candidates will be assisting with paperwork, handing out scripts, heavy lifting, crowd control, and running errands. Great opportunity for current graduates trying to break into the industry. Candidate must be punctual. No, you always will be punctual and take initiative in a fast-paced environment. So this is this is a great introduction job. This is, like I said, I think with all our jobs, they're always look at them as opportunities to grow. So like in this one, you'll be handling paperwork, you'll be handing out scripts, heavy lifting. This to me is like the brunt work, right? You're
a gopher. Gopher.
I didn't want to say
and there's
gopher,
nothing wrong with that. That's what it is. Look, you got to pay your dues somehow. Be the gopher. Have you been the gopher before, Is?
Yeah, I have. Many years ago, I was. And key thing on this last detail for this grind up was must be punctual. I'm gonna just say in our show and what we bring to the table, man, we always want you to be punctual. We always want you to be on time. Figure out your travel situations. If the location is 30 minutes out, man, get on the road. Factor in traffic wherever you're at, just so you can be there on time. Those are great details as far as presentation in the workplace.
And this would be a great credit because it's 24 Legacy, which is going to be huge. It's going to debut early 2017, and you're talking about the new. If for those of you that maybe remember original 24, it was huge. So this will be bigger. This is a great opportunity to get that credit on your resume so that you can move up on the ranks, to get in there, to know the people, to learn the language.
Word. All right, and also too, guys, this is a fast-paced environment. Yeah. Some folks kind of don't really respond too well in a paced environment because it can get chaotic, and attitudes can kind of start festering. So you got to be able to take on those kind of loads and different dynamics of the workplace, because not everything's going to be cool, chill, everybody smiley, happy-go-lucky. Like, you're going to get in some of these environments where people are upset, pissed, saying shit, all kind of crazy, and that's just what it is. So definitely taking that consideration. We're going to move into Grind Op number 3. Cloie, I'm going to let you go on and take this Grind Op number 3. Go on and take it.
Thank you. Thank you. So Grind Op number 3 is for sound designer in Bellevue, Washington. It says the details are award-winning developer of PlayStation games seeking a sound designer that strives to do stunning, groundbreaking, genre-defining games. Those are large, sweeping statements. Okay. Details are candidate will be designing and implementing, sound effects within, I love it, a production schedule timeline. Candidate will be involved in field and studio recording, collecting for sound effects and the in-house sound effects library. Oh, that sounds so fun. Candidate will be reporting to the audio director on audio aesthetics and sound design feedbacks. And candidate must include a resume, cover letter with a description of your favorite sound you've ever designed. Listen to that, right? Because that is a very specific application instruction, and I feel like that often gets missed because people aren't reading, right? Just in the job world, they will tell you exactly how they want you to apply or what they want you to include, and we forget that because we're just in such a rush. So slow down and pay attention for a second and know that they're asking you to include a resume, a cover letter, and within that cover letter, you will provide a description of the favorite sound that you have ever designed. Lots of onomatopoeia.
You know what I like about these details, because they're very exact.
Yes.
So to me, what that says is you obviously, before you sign up for this one, you definitely want to have some experience under your belt. I mean, these details are pretty self-explanatory. I feel like we don't really have to break any of these down, because this is truly for an experienced person. And I know we definitely got some experienced cats at the Recording Connection who would totally be able to look at this information and be like, got it, get it, I'll be there. I think one of the things that stand out to me is obviously sounds you've designed, and that can kind of be something that maybe even some of the experienced people haven't had a chance to do yet. So I mean, just things to think about for those of you who are going to sign up for this particular Grind Op. Definitely, like I said,
in the world of gaming, let's just talk about that for a second. The gaming world is huge. It's huge. It's the everything, biggest. It's trickling into every facet, into the audio world, into the film industry, into everything that is audio visual. Gaming is becoming a part of that. Sorry, I get excited.
So definitely have your resume and your experience packed in for this one, because that's definitely a great opportunity, but it comes with serious information required. So so that's for that one, guys. We're going to move on to Grind Op number 4. Grind Op number 4, this is in the field of film, all right, which I know we have tons.
Shout out.
I mean, all day, right? We got tons of those cats sitting over there ready to indulge and dive in. So this is video editor part-time, Nashville, Tennessee. Television network seeking a video editor that has recently graduated. There you go. And looking for a starting position in television. Television network reaches nearly 50 million homes across the country, producing 27.5 hours of news programming each week, in addition to special programs. You'll be shooting and editing feature-length pieces for magazine programs and news. You must have a demo reel together highlighting special skills in post-production. Candidate must be organized, responsible, and self-motivated. So for those of you who are tuning in now, you just saw a really great reel that my man Anth was able to provide us. But just kind of, breaking down who you are, what you do, maybe some, someone kind of talking, kind of featuring you, kind of showcasing you rather than you talking about yourself, which is always great. So definitely,
also we got a question too about sizzle reels and how long they should be, right?
Right.
The sizzle reel that Anthony provided, I believe it was 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and it's like an action-packed 2:34. You lead with your strongest stuff up front. If it's 3 minutes, that's too long, because people are going to see, and that people know within the first 10 to 30 seconds how they feel about you. So start strong and leave them wanting more. The shorter the better. Say your peak, but the shorter the better. Continue, please.
Now, this Grind Op, guys, is again reaching 50 million homes across the country, producing 27.5 hours of news content and programming. So that to me sounds like a serious workload. So that's something to definitely factor in. And they're looking for somebody who's recently graduated. Now, I know the Recording Connection definitely has some graduates over there. It's a starting position, but it's, like I said, starting positions are always great ways to look at, forward, future, opportunities, whether it's, long-term, full-time.
Yes.
And you'll be meeting tons of folks. Go ahead, Cloie.
When you say starting position, it's also nobody says how long you're going to be in that starting position. You could be in that starting position for a week. You could be in that starting position for a year. It just all depends on you and how hard you want to bust your behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, Ant, real quick, how long has your process been as far as the day you started working in the Jam in the Van? Like, how long have you been there?
I've been there, I started like in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been sitting tight just doing it for a few months now.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. And that's that's why I think even in this particular Grind Op, you look at these opportunities like, man, just get in the door, get your feet through the door first, and man, earn your spot, and next thing you know, you find yourself being, possibly a full-time, it being a full-time gig. And you're meeting folks. How many folks have you been able to meet in this environment?
So too many to count.
Right.
I honestly lost count.
Right. So that's the thing. It's like
close quarters.
Yeah, it's like with these these environments, man. You're constantly meeting people, and you're constantly finding yourself in conversations where folks are like, "Hey, man, so do you do any work outside, or how can I get a hold of you? How can I contact you?" And those are the kind of things that open you up to new opportunities and new possibilities. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So before we go on to our last Grind Up, Cloie, I want our folks to kind of get their Q&A ready. Any questions that you might have, because we do a Q&A at the end of the show where we like to let you extract as much information as you can from us, and also from Ant. If you guys have any questions for Ant, please feel free to ask him, and we'll make that happen for you guys. So without any further ado, Cloie, go on and close us out with this last Grind Op of our Monday morning.
I would love nothing more. So Grind Op number 5, again, yes, Recording Connection, and also yes, Film Connection. It's for a video producer in Mesa, Arizona. Video producer needed for the local community's channel to oversee the city's video projects. The candidate will produce new and existing television programs, assisting with original productions, set design and construction, equipment troubleshooting, and simple repairs. Video producer will be reporting to the multimedia program director, who reviews work through meetings, periodic conferences, and results achieved. Candidate must be able to work in a fast-paced environment, prioritizing multiple projects to meet required deadlines. Candidate must provide at least 5 references, as he or she will be working for the city. You're a city employee, so if you got a record, this is not for you. If you have a record, how about just don't have one? I mean, things happen, I get it, and this is not your Grind Op.
Wait, hold on. We got to clarify that, Cloie, because when you say don't have a record, we got music people, so they might be thinking, wait, don't show up with my songs, or don't show up with my don't have a criminal record.
Don't have a criminal record. If you got a fingerprint in this world in a database somewhere that has an X on it, this might not be for you. And that's okay. We all can't have everything. That's okay.
So again, guys, this is another great opportunity for our Recording Connection students. I think this one is another one of those grind ops where the details pretty much are self-explanatory, especially for those that are taking this information down. Just looking at this, guys, you know what it is. Especially, another one for people who have a little bit of experience. So you know this information in this language is very familiar to you. So definitely take those things into consideration. I think one of the things too is what Cloie was saying. Because it's for the city, you definitely don't want any kind of criminal record being attached to anything like these opportunities, because they do a background check.
They check. And here's the thing: we've all got things. It's okay. Live your life safely, but just recognize what they're asking for. And if you think, oh, maybe they won't find, then don't. Just don't.
Right. One of the things that does make me want to talk about briefly in these details is being that you're going to reporting to a program director who will review the work. Those are just some of the things to think about prior, and being able to look at yourself and how you work in these particular environments and how you work with people. Some people don't know really how to, let's say, position their candor or their attitude when they're working with folks who are in power, such as the program director. And those are things to always kind of keep in mind. You always want to, not to say you need to be kissing ass or any of that, but you need to have an attitude that emotes positivity and, just
confidence,
all ears, being cool, being chill, but also getting the work done and growing. And those are important. Those are important, let's say, components that you want to always allow folks in these positions, like a program director, to see about you. So that's what I kind of just wanted to say real quick. I don't know if you have anything, Cloie, you want to
just real quick, because we have another job that's telling you exactly what you need to apply for this job, right? We all know where can we apply for these jobs?
At rrfedu.com.
Great. So that's where you can apply. They're telling you, they're giving you the keys to the kingdom and saying, hey, you want to do that? That's fine. We need 5 references. Not 4, not 3, not 7. Good for you if you have 7. They're asking for 5.
Right.
That's
what's
it.
up.
I was just highlighting that, lest we forget.
Chloe, so we did the math, and it looks like we are at 135 jobs now. So that's the math. That's what we do. That's what we're doing every Monday. And again, just to reiterate myself, the place you want to apply for these jobs are at, again, www.rrfedu.com. Connected. All right. This is again episode 27. Next week will be episode 28. And we'll be and guys, check it out. We'll be bringing more guests throughout the shows, like Anthony, to share his story, to feature his accomplishment in the recording world and what he's been able to do and how he's been able to apply the information he's been able to take from his mentoring process. So let's jump into some Q&A. If you have any questions out there. For Anthony, who are some of the people you've worked with? Some of the bands, even if they're not, a known band, but just kind of share some of the bands you've been able to work with.
Work with Ziggy Marley, a band called Lane. Yeah, so many that I can't even think, man.
Well, man, I'm gonna let's talk about Ziggy Marley real quick, because that's a huge name. I mean, what was that experience like? Like, briefly walk me through that day and what that experience was like.
So yeah, we were at Ventura. We were doing this show for Feast of the Beat, and we had this. We had word that Ziggy might come by, but it wasn't sure, so we weren't hoping on it. But when he came by, I was mind blown. Exactly, I had mind blown.
Did you take a selfie? Did you take a selfie?
I wish.
That's good though. I'm glad you did it. Go ahead.
So yeah, we recorded him, and he sounded great. Everything was great with him and his band. Everything. It was a great experience.
Now I want to ask one key question in this particular session. When you open the doors to the van, was there a huge cloud of smoke?
Oh.
Was there a huge cloud of smoke?
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that.
That's the right answer.
Yo, check
That's the right answer.
Yo, my man has been mentored very well. Yes. he knows studio etiquette. All right, a lot of folks don't know studio etiquette, so
it's like
my
Vegas
hat off to you,
etiquette.
man. Right.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in the studio
What happens
stays
in the
the studio
van
or the
stays in the
van. This is all we're
And
saying.
I got another question for you. What's been your most extensive session as far as inputs and dealing with mics and musicians? Like, what's the most you've had to record in there?
We had like about like a 12-piece band, not including the
In the van?
in the van. It was
Man.
crowded. It was hot. It was crowded.
Oh, that's another thing. How do you guys do it with the AC to keep this gear cool?
Seriously.
Oh, we have AC. It's just it still gets hot no matter what. Especially
much
that
AC.
12-piece band we had. It was crazy. Fitting them
Like-
in there.
It's like recording in the safari in Africa, huh?
Yeah.
Can we just pause for a second and acknowledge how amazing the sun is? I mean, people that don't live in Southern California, they're like, yeah, sun, we get it. Except that, no. The sun, y'all, is real, and it's amazing.
No. You
Shout
better
out,
tell her.
Elsa. Listen,
Yep.
the big old star, she wins. Continue, I'm sorry.
Okay. So we got another question. Should I tailor my resume to a specific job, accentuate my skills that are relevant to the job, and minimize or eliminate my skills that don't apply to the job? What do you think, Cloie?
Yes. I say yes. I say, yes, fill your one page. Your resume is never more than one page. It's a successful resume is never more than one page. And as we saw with one of our Grind Opps today, they asked for that. They were asking it was for our video editor, job op number 4, where they were saying candidate must have a demo reel highlighting special skills in post-production. Now, granted, if we're talking about a demo reel, and that resume is like your demo reel but on paper. So lead with whatever your strengths are, and the rest of the stuff, not let it fall by the wayside. It still exists. It's still a part of you. You got that degree. You put in those hours. You've got that time. But if it's not going to help you, why include it? You know?
Right. Totally agree. Next question. Ant, do you play an instrument?
I wish. That's why I got into recording, because I couldn't play, so I figured if I can't play, I might as well record.
But I bet you play that computer keyboard like an instrument, huh?
Oh yeah.
Because I've worked with an array of engineers, man, and I'm always fascinated by how each one of these cats treats this keyboard. It's like from cue points to like little quick tricks and stuff, and it's just it's crazy to me because I still struggle on my laptop typing in stuff like, oh, I misspelled that. Oh man, I got it. Oh, I hit shift. Oh no, like you guys really do your thing on those keyboards, man.
Yeah, you miss one key, everything goes bad. That's the wrong key. There goes your job.
Let's see, another question. And how do you deal with on the recording side, because it is a computer-based software that you're dealing with, like Pro Tools? How do you deal with the situations where the computer kind of crashes or you got to restart? What are some of the ways you've been able to maneuver around those errors that you really have no control over?
Oh man, if that happens, what I do is I save the session every 2 or 3 minutes just in case onto my hard drive. So if anything does happen that I can't, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
See that, and I'm glad you said that, man, because that's a huge note for engineers, man, is the backup and saving, because, man, and I'm sure you've seen this many times, Ant, where just on a whim and a great idea comes and being able to capture it and then cataloging it and recording it and backing it up, because the last thing I'm sure you can attest to this, is the last thing you ever want to do is with being an engineer is when they say, hey man, can you recall that for me real quick? And you're like, we're gonna have to record it again because I didn't record it, or I don't have it, or I can't find that file. Like, dude, that's the worst thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Man, because I'm gonna tell you, as a creator, when I'm in the studio, man, I leave no room for error with my I leave no room for error with my engineers, because you will get cussed out straight up.
Yeah.
If I strike light, I always consider it like, dude, I'm striking lightning in a bottle. If you miss that, hey man, are you available? Okay, cool. I
Yep.
need you to be here in 10 minutes. Straight up.
And you can't be mad though. You can't be mad at that.
It's a non-air
That's how
environment.
glass is made. That is how glass is made. Lightning and sand. You miss it, you don't get no glass. You just got all sand, which is fine. But you're out of a job.
All right.
Goodbye.
Well, cool, man. Guys, that is going to do it for our show today. And again, we want to shout out my man Ant, who's been able to do something incredible. He's been able to take his educational experience from the Recording Connection and make something happen in real time. He's doing it every day with Jam in the Van. And, man, we're pushing for you, Ant. We're pulling for you, man, that you're going to take that slot. You're going to take that slot. You're going to find yourself doing other things, recording in other environments, and really just excelling, man. So my hat off to you, bro. I know what that looks like. I've been there. I've been with you guys from the start all the way to, you know, your Dave Pensados, to your Russ Elevados, man, to your Serbins. Man, those are all my boys, and to see a cat like you from this generation who is on the way in the beaten path to do those same things, man. Much love to you, bro. We're pushing for you. And
thank you, man. Appreciate
Cloie,
it.
absolutely, man. Cloie, we got to shout out our connected team that allows us to come here every Monday morning and do what we do. Brian, Mike, Howie,
Howard,
man,
like
we love
all
you
of you guys. Thank you.
And I was just saying before we start our show, man, we got a very diverse group of talent around us. I mean, I'm straight Mexican, straight up. My homegirl Cloie, straight up sister, black and proud. Mike, Howie, I haven't really clarified. I want to say that or white, but I want to say anything that's not true. But shout out to our squad. We got a very diverse group of, cats that are in our team.
Rainbow Tribe.
That allow us to come here. Allow us to come here every Monday and do special things like this for you. And we can't forget you. Yes.
Where can we find you if we're looking for you?
Very easily. Is Avila, and that's across the board. That's on the gram. That's on Facebook. That's at Twitter. And yeah, I mean, and also too, Cloie, it's a great way to kind of just keep up with both of us and what our week looks like. You know, we always tell folks, to track our day-to-day movement. Make sure you stay connected with us on our grams and our Twitters and our Facebooks. Connected across the board all day is connected at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Cloie, tell them where you're at.
I'm at always Cloie across the board. Easy. CLOIE. There's no H. You put an H, you might get something very different.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't put an H. So glad. But anyway, folks, we look forward. Catch us here every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be here next week doing show
on
28.
Labor Day.
Yeah, on Labor Day. Yeah.
The day of labor.
Hey, man, there's no break for the grinders. That's just how it goes, right?
No.
Cool, man. Well, signing out, y'all. We love you. Peace. My man Ant, keep it going, bro. Cloie, looking lovely as usual.
You with your little hat.
As I was told, while playing this series